akoye de ama eno ena ye ba bedi hu komo na afi bibia so na etumi akoye metuma culture say first run of week no abana we Leeds United na fie ni Everton e de boani and Leeds United share Everton e kabako last minute penalty nyasem keto akra na ohwe Everton ball no mo boy na ye bewrem and Real Madrid wo match omo wa ball mo de na afi ya close year League 1 and I say round 1 of a year the Spanish Premier La Liga no ye bewrem hye so say transfers awodo na be kokoso na kokoso ni ade a yes rerema ni ade a and as a agreement in principle Crystal Palace ne ebubuko friend Tottenham Hotspur agree so can do a job it's had a creative aspect of the game you be say if Chukwuemeka a movie called Crystal Palace and almost 50 million so almost at least 40 about Chelsea superji Nigeria say we balance with 10 also a bit to me about because a brand a friend no a year Chukwuemeka ball no nimbo papa honoma ye guso ye di hu komo ye be reremu ani ade amanfo bebre na kasa bebre ze Chelsea ne draw no boy na bi mu se o to so ke bi mu se o shadanya de papa bia promising say it is worrying say Kopama entumi am break Crystal Palace down ye be rerem na ya say is it a concern to worry as a Chelsea fans and I say they will have to sign another creative player or beba bebo Kopama ye be rasa ansem no na fe they won't be able to me at abramo show ni live on Facebook obomodi and joining Facebook obomu say yes my bet no what in temu my bet na what in temu yes my bet na what in temu na bibia so etumi ade ye be rem Real Madrid so ene kwa mba fa so mu se so na bebo no enya easy cry ye be renu so mu na ya hwe how are they going to set up ni ade na bibia so no etumi akoye Street is watching show near live OSASUNA ABN Radio 1 oko my bet online radio we say ye twa good de e ho no ma enya asem keto akra my bet online radio radio no we say ye twa gu e ho no ntihye so nefa emaye sa so ena oko YouTuber MYBET.AFRICA TV MYBET.AFRICA TV MYBET.AFRICA TV ewo YouTube but then o join and now subscribe to the channel now also do comment to me there by e be kan e the amount fe na bibia so no etumi akoye ewo e the amount online radio no so MYBET online radio twegu ho no TikTok no so sports.arena.news also ye twegu ho no na fe Telegram account no so no sports arena Chama bibia boko there
yeah list of bibia boko
yeah yen my better education no tew na fe ye medi nkomo ewo games na wodo
okay see my better education there obi enim se ope bibia betwa bet an ho beto asem bia mba ho na odi sika na wetime yusika ama bibia to din my bet.africa it time bia me too for so betwa beta enko bibia ko www.mybet.africa eho na otwa bet na wodi o mo send o message se bra na we discana ba we use sika e na company ametufo a truly Ghanaian company nti ene asem aba unim baby abetimi akwakodan na ene wetimi age usika ene futu ambema so person join this ebusuan we a ko www.mybet.africa on the top right corner be hu icon be a circle ni green umia so a be hu login and register me register ne so umia register ne so I will just 3 simple steps unto betimi register ba be come MYBET ebusuan. The first step your mobile money number and our phone number we use to deal transactions. In Selbo Eshemwa, no akwa the next step, which is your username. Username bit me your nickname. A bit me a DMB person we use to now so to me day. It's me the MYBET.AFRICA platform. Ubo we are password. Both password we are the next one who confirm password, but the same password now for the found so register so register so no on send verification code now so about come MYBET ebusuano. Links not started. Into PBB arbitra bet. Long bet out the benya akabonus 1,500 up to 1,500%. Ope cash out, partial cash out, any full cash out optional. Ope early payout. Game ne koso no aji usika and temp and send 90 minutes na kuswa. MYBET.AFRICA ntiti ha near more betting options, near more betting odds. Now also for disca MYBET.AFRICA.
Right, it's my bet a home commander. Yeah, the Yenshire Leeds United. I was surprised the way at least approach the game. They were very aggressive and they were pushing. Ultimately, I've never seen a Leeds United team normally aggressive, dominating possession, playing on the front foot. And to be honest, I was also surprised the way Everton approach the game. I don't know. Everton coach David Moyes have a particular style of playing. But na assassin. Say omode ka baako na ultimu say omo be send the ball no long e dey akọ inside. Na fei pass which they omo to be spending 2 minutes pass ball no omo chire wa. Enti difficult. I was watching the game and I was surprised. But then I would say Leeds United, they deserve the win. They play so well, so well. Benedict Indra game.
Yes, I share Indra game now. It was a good game for Leeds United. Wababe the second team from the championship or buying to the Premier League will make me a win. After Sunderland, it means a win against West Ham. And I think we share Indra game now. Everything should say now Leeds were the upper hand over Everton team. Even though say now Everton are a crucial signings, beat Sergio Briho, Jack Grealish, Beto last season on a good performance. You the likes of India last season on a good performance. I know BR said these are key players that they could come in and save Everton. But social possession and everything now. I think David Moyes before season ever started, there were conversation complaining about the transfers at Everton here. Even in the summer series game on boy, and they had to even put just 5 players on the bench. And complaining about signings. And then they Usha Juice Briho, Jack Grealish. These are quality Premier League proven players coming in your setup are still possession wise everything Leeds United airborne. Now I tell Daniel Flecking, Usha the gameplay now, say no bonny ball. Or a possession based coach. Into Usha the time at
Farker,
yes.
Yeah.
Usha the time at Nottingham Forest. Any even other teams or they are into the Premier League. Only the end of the possession game.
He was with Norwich.
Norwich, yes.
Yeah.
We share possession game na wakwa could lose the game simple. No, I go back to relegation. But I think now when you experienced guys, I want to set up more. We experience. Beat said the likes of your friend is saying Ampedu, Wabo Chelsea, Oko Leeds United loan, and they on the captain. So experience wise, when in Premier League, ni Wabamu up go back into the Premier League. I say you should start wise ball possession, almost dominating game with 54% against a Premier League side. Everton, David Moyes. I think they're very worrying for the Everton fans. To call the Leeds United Stadium. So I'm game. No, we had total shots. 2 teams the boy. Leeds United ball 21 and Everton ball 7. Expected goals on the night. In case Leeds United take your chances after missing 3 big chances. In case of Mutimisha at least 2 goals on the night. Mutimidi penalty 80 million that 3 points. I think we share this season. The teams are promoted or free the championship about the Premier League. Number we had the likes of Burnley against even a team like Tottenham. They did well, but to share experience wise, any quality and not Tottenham could and no main to me and take it advantage. Sunderland coming in against West Ham, they put up a good performance and then they elite against Everton. I think David Moyes will Juma Baby here. The next game, Obebo was the newly stadium mama building, and the fans will be expecting more against Brighton. So beat me about no more. So on the night they were crucial, the penalty, there were crucial conversations about it. Set Tarkowski and Ensa Italy. But so he was leaning towards the ball. He was looking at Senko, didn't shoulder be, but when Timmy and with the shoulder and Ensa Itimi kind. So with the rules and with the EPL center, they always break rules on why the penalty was taken. Everything went for the referee's decision. It's a penalty, not Jane. It was a real penalty against Everton. But I think on the night, their performance was very poor. Also, their game against Brighton at their newly built stadium, they need to make their fans enjoy that 3 points and also a good football.
Okay, that is a year. So let's see how does it going into the season. This is the first game. So after watching them, people, I'm out for a tape so make relegation.
Yes.
So if you look at how they approach the game and the way they played, and they are there, how would they fare? We've seen Sunderland look very strong.
Yeah.
They are playing the old and I said the backless Premier League style, no, matching the opponent intensity wise, supporters getting behind the team, making sure say every set piece crucial, every transition crucial, any other day. So it is clear that here the way Sunderland are starting, they will be a difficult customer in the league. Osha Omo against Burnley, I could clearly see that they have a steal, unlike Burnley. Wash at least we've seen Daniel Farker team. They play, a flexible football without aggression. They will play all the wonderful football, but at the end of the day, we lose. We should drop game now, and what does it mean for two teams in England?
Yes, so here with the 3 teams no on Sunderland and Burnley and also Leeds United. I think about the transfer business at Sunderland, I had a lot of transfer business compared to these 3 teams. With me, the likes one way Adingra, McGee from Liverpool, from Chelsea, it's Miriam Shaka, Premier League proven player. With him, Bundesliga, that is the Bundesliga title last time returning. So, about the transfer wise, I think Sunderland, it's me a beefy squad and ahead of all these teams. We have Burnley almost why 1 or 2 additions with Ukechuku from Chelsea, with Amando Broja from Chelsea. Leeds United, Nana Ebani transfers, they've not done enough business. Burnley, they've gone in for Noah Okafor from AC Milan, Omodeneba, Ababeres on the wings. If the likes of Daniel James, so with these 3 teams, performance-wise, I think Sunderland, Etimiache say yes, they are playing the old style of football. Oba, Unimse, Obetimino Wabo. There is nothing to fear in the Premier League. In tennis, with me, BM no Oba, he can get at least a point from the game or some goals from the game. It could go on their side, there's almost me winning. But over from the Leeds United, yesterday they put up a good performance. And at this 3 clubs, so Muna to me master the performance or more than it, trying to match the big teams, trying to make sure say they don't go into games feeling afraid. They will sit back and leave the ball to the big teams. They can do all in the Premier League. The likes and the Bema now affected the likes of Everton, the likes of Brentford. And yet enough additions, and now they are struggling to even get their squad in a balanced state. No, it affected me. But I think this 3 new promoted side now should say yes. They are not just coming in to add to the numbers, but they are coming in to make sure say they dominate and battle with the big clubs. And if they are not able to get into the top 10 Ghana, they would avoid relegation and make sure say they stay in the Premier League next season.
Okay. Yeah.
Listo, I think I am an list for a Europe, and if you look at the instances and how I'm game, I was looking at one midfield trial, and I think they did very well. And Russia last year teams no more promoted by Premier League. Most of them they bring a win.
bi pen wabɛbɔ Premier League ni bi pen ɛna Rondon Joel so no wabɔ kakra ɛwɔ ɛyɛ Tottenham Hotspur yusu no kakra nti ɔno so wɔ experience na brand yɛ fɛ no Pascal Struge ɔno so abɔ saa time a wei ɛwɔ hɔ no this coach Marcelo Bielsa ɛwɔ hɔ no na ɔka ɛyɛ team na no mo hadwen mo share Man City at some point Abrante and I say now they've signed a player from Gabriel Goodmanson ɔno po Champions League crowd bi e de Lille Metropole into our experience they have Ampadu abo Chelsea Premier League ni bi da and Tanaka what he brings a lot of energy Japanese international suna kind of for Tuna Düsseldorf no makwa kofanaba James some kind Daniel James abo Manchester United and Gontu Wilfred Gontu he's a player now I also feel Leeds United maybe kasa easy now also about back to the Premier League after all joining Omu from Serie A Omu relegation he wanted to leave but Omu keeping for say na so and they have a goalkeeper on also experience here Lucas Perry no them Olympic Lyonnais goalkeeper no makwa kofane there one thing about Omu team say in terms of squad depth Omu each other nibi that is my worry Jack Harrison experience Brendan Aronson also nimbo papa also he's been with them almost signing free Red Bull Salzburg oba no money Cologne or Union Berlin and we returning from Union Berlin ababe share a team ni mo anyama ko then sin Longstaff obi anim say osina kan the ma bubu ko efre no Newcastle United since o makofa ne de na ba na brante no shego no Lucas Mecha ono so no sina kan Edema Wolfsburg ni nua esina kan Edema Dortmund o mu nyina kamako kwese Manchester City Academy boys no I don't know say we ana say ba ko no ono ye Manchester City Academy boy oni Kopama mo no mu nyina we so almost squad depth no na yeden fam now they are bringing former AC Milan and Napoli Noah he's the striker no ma any or no eba be join the team no I'm sure how they are going to fare then Dominic Calvert-Lewin and so I join you when Patrick Bamford and so Hodada senior man and so 31 years and Calvert-Lewin so then so they have strikers for one man they were not part of the squad but they were able to beat Everton. I think Everton David Moyes needs to be careful because say likely say how Burnley are starting they will go because coach he's not ready to play the kind of football he say Leeds United able and he's not also ready to play the kind of ball Sunderland here the able so likely say one so if these two teams are going to continue the way they played how impressive they because you see it is not easy say a club from the Championship league anymore traditional teams are ache Premier League nim to say Everton to say West Ham say Obeshia no na toe to toe no wa hye no and they are keeping clean sheet on top which is a worrying sign for some of the teams now no more struggle last season no? So we are not going to get Man United who is going to struggle like they did last season and we are not going to get Tottenham Hotspur who are going to struggle like they did last season no so it will be the West Hams the Evertons any Brentford mo so omo and likely says adi we be struggling no omo ba be struggle so very important say Everton, David Moyes, true say what sign good players. What sign players are more comfortable on the ball. But it doesn't mean say omo possessive based football. Yesterday when I was watching them, especially when they went down by a goal, Everton now winning no. Ever send a long ball they come out better. But they were playing from the back. This blue a free number 10 position now banning way more than and home. Pass it from the back. Now passing from the back and a problem. What did Tarkowski and Michael King ball from the back? You'll be beaten. And now small teams win now started the air show. Engineer and Man United money Chelsea money at the show. So Endra, at least Everton should have gotten a point Leeds United home than going there to try to say as a ball possessive based football any other. Everton a trust anyama winning. I didn't help them. Omokofa Frank de Boer didn't buy. The same thing. He wanted to play a possessive football. About 7 games. One go cry. Go with your the way our ball. Goalkeeper no. The only means say or ball long ball. Bonko shem no mon prepare ho. A benny more no na. Then quality players no, they can dribble their way out near the other. But the way our ball in Crystal Palace mo ball no mo ball no. Amo quality players who eze mono any wasem they can possess the ball. But they know their strength. Omo say masa enye nyina nipa mienu miensa bi na betumi good on the ball. And I technically gifted me and pressure me maneuver on way out. We are not the same. You bet me pass it from the back. Now one player the ball na kwa koche. Ne yagia kwa koche. Any city deep boy a counter. Yeah, the ball ne ko enim dia yenim say your quality players wo final third wo me be there dey am. It's Everton. This is the only words I make me there. I can at the actual share the other news na fe yam ko enim.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, share other news. And they send our boss who easy to Tottenham likely say Bibia a bit me among now with 55 plus 5 million add-ons here at the back or more share. So mbet me to Bibia ne wait me and yenim say my game so another player Liverpool share. Now as a now sika here Liverpool dia to some person mo de tono that is 35 and more so mbet me to Crystal Palace. Because of player and contract ten to be a bit me akone we enti omo hwese kwan bia so mbetimi a negotiate na say eze be movie na magi be movie it will be a big blow for Crystal Palace, especially going into a new season. No metimi a picking momentum from the Chelsea game, so we lose these 2 crucial players even at the end of August. Now the year September mo enim say Premier League no mostly business started that is September ho eko edi kwa ko December na ho na utimi nya good moment etimi boa be nei. They are trying to sell their 2 key players outside of the club. And him say additions, especially most of the time, no. So muton key players are the quality and be replaced. But with these 2 players, yeah, share how difficult it would be for them to replace them, even in the crucial stages of the transfer window. But I think is a move needed. Quite be as soon through before maybe obey me ball their next game, or maybe be moving to Tottenham, will be featuring in Tottenham's game against Manchester City. On Saturday, so it's a good move for them. With Napoli and they Lukaku pra. Now with Lukaku Prano, he can get into 3 to 4 months or may see the season. We half of the season interne Antonio Conte era says surely they need to add another striker. But the preferred choice striker Joshua Zexi of Man United. He's looking at bringing Zexi. Bene Napoli for we muko didi in common. Man United at Momata says Zexi a player bia. The profile and fitting will be a more in style. Obenya 2 strikers, that is Sesko Beman that box present, and Zexi Beman that type of player, bet me a drop it deep. Etimia Babe Bobo, Nibiama Bibi, Etimia Koyi, Zexi dear, Quine Biasono, Omunjai Emanenko, but Omo Hoyland, if Napoli interested in Hoylander, Betimia Hoyland, Etimia movie on the other end. Now the negotiation in Koso between AC Milan and Napoli. Quine Biaso Hoyland bet me movie up one of these clubs, and they've been 2 big statements for him. The first one was against Omo boy. That was even the recent one against Arsenal. Like went to me and Betina bench, and also their last friend the Omo boy and went to me even a minute. It shows said now he's not in the plans of Coach FN Ruben Amorim, so he needs to find a club and move. Even though say die hard fan Man United we or die hard Man United fan and all her saying ko betimi improve etimi abɔ ne ball ne yie ɛwɔ Man United na yɛka Man United asɛm Sancho listo I think sisi ankofo bebree hu say now no the player is not willing to even play football I say scanning who hia no same ball no bebo no because as at now there are clubs that they are willing to pay the 20 million asking price at Man United even on Man United side no quite be so everyone say is a bad business because Otto Sancho getting to 75 and or 20 million on a player like Sancho only at a young age or bet me improve anytime now AS Roma coming in for Sancho as at now we should coach Roma that is where your friend is saying coach Roma as at now
Spalletti we Gasparini
yes Gasparini obetimi improve Sancho upe coach or improve players in the Italian Serie A. Gasparini one of them. Sancho still he's sticking with that 350,000 SOG a week, and no gusu jinemo gusu kute money ni agent, On my dream say anything relating or lower than that salary, they are not willing to move. But she's that since we recently who fans spam Sancho Instagram with 5 million comments for him to join their club, and they still. Why not join these two clubs? No, so be it me and matching the salaries now. He's not willing to join them. And same baby. So on the player side, he's sending Uncle for he can't come there. He's willing to run down his contract at Man United. Then the next contract negotiation, he would be willing to negotiate that same salary. I'll bet me I am a baby.
No, yeah, mostly no. Baby, I almost share at this stage in NSL or running a contract no down. So I could sign a man. 150 and I say even 100,000 per. Obeji signing on fee like 4 million to 5 million.
Yes.
And this is the age near saying.
I think Sancho 24.
24 until say run it down. We are about 25 years. A year age a year. When you say signing now you are going to get like
3 years, 4 years.
4 years, 5 years. So that is basically what he is looking at.
Yes, but I think and also on the player side.
Sancho 25 when you're 25 this year. March.
Next year the contract
still on the peak.
Yeah.
Yes. Intino or share the negotiations the Man United almost side they are feeling so bad about it because the 20 million for Sancho would be a good asking fee as of now. So that they can make enough out of it. The last way a bit a friend is saying we friend Ouattara moving to Brentford. Now, Ouattara moving to Brentford near Adebakwa, it opens door for a lot of transfers. I didn't make us and say Brentford, Ekache Wisa say Kwame Biasono, if they are not able to add any other player, they wouldn't allow him to move. And then there's Ouattara also on Bournemouth. No so Yachuma Mentre say Kwame Biasono he wants to move. And they omit me the 42 package. And Aquacoma Bournemouth for 4 magic. Now the contract was signing for 5 years. So Bekwako Ama Brentford. Akwakobo ama Brentford ama bibia timi akoyi nti ene is all share screen is one that so okuta JC our Brentford next game on bebo obetimi aba bebo ama bibia timi akoyi nti Newcastle free ene ekwakopem that is September 12 ombe ma dwen so obetimi abobo bibia timi egum na Wisa obetimi atwe na ba because now their striking department and same in their last game utimi say they couldn't take advantage of the chances of creating here. The likes of Elanga and Gordon who couldn't take enough chances up front. They are looking at 2 players, Wisa Sobeba and also another young striker Betimiaba Ababe Boa Wisama Biakoyi. Omubo Kolumwani Pumu, but Kolumwani Amomati as a Kwame Biasono Juventus and Onyayo Bebo. So they are still searching for a striker and they are looking at trying to add another striker with the likes of Wisa. So Betimania a good season under Eddie Howe to be able to replicate last season Champions League qualification.
All right.
Yeah, Listo. I mean, share some of the transfer news. Then, no about Madrid game. No more Chelsea for positive say, and there's been a news coming from Chelsea. Comes say Tosin Adarabioyo is back in training, and I mean, Friday if we be okay, the coach wants to play him and he can still play. But you see, I say Miss Safo could be Asemi Puno be or more Asemi or Makanisa. Although Levi Cowell Prana will Prano some of the Chelsea fans didn't even know how important this player was to Chelsea setup, and until manager and Chelsea team, the only player who can play such role, no, Tosin Adarabioyo. Before that game on prior, although Josh Achampong in a very good game, maybe on the field he wasn't the player now or ball a lot of passes. Trevor Chalobah in the ball that passes in the mall, but you see he wasn't comfortable, especially playing from the left side. Now Josh Achampong also had ways to beat the press by being the ball carrier or the BBT or more first press. Then no release about the Moise Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, whoever is there at that point. And you see, the reason why the Chelsea directors are saying is that they do not want to go and buy any defenders. At least now, if you want to replace Levi Kowa, now we'll come market in the list. Any player capable of replicating whatever Levi Kowa was doing for Chelsea under Enzo Maresca, that player won't come cheap. What about cheaper at 30 million? And let's see the players at last. You better not discuss your more. Hincapi, the Brazilian international Lino. All these players will not come cheap. Now, there's scenario the directors say they don't want to make that same mistake. When Leslie Fofana last season, they were forced to go and buy Asel Disasi in the range of 40 to 45 million echo. Now, the issue is, if you could talk player 40, 50 bar, that's a Levi Kowa or Hontono, maybe halfway the season, but it means that we have to also, that player will also be a second field. So it means that Tosin Adarabioyo and any other player in the name of Abranta de Mama Dusa, Yakoko Fana Nicolas Ombra, Nanes is Omebo, Josh Achampong last season, the representative person Muka, he's going to be part of your first team. Games that Levi Kowa, Tosin or Chalobah, anyone, he will fit in play. It means that Ukofa another player bar, the development of Anselmino, Josh Achampong and Mamadou Sarr who will come next season will be some way. So they don't want to make such mistakes. And I think Enzo Maresca will be our understudy from Pep Guardiola. And if they decide not to buy any player, defender for him, I think he can go with that. Now Fofana is back. You have Chalobah. Anselmino, a player that we have to integrate him and develop. Sewankolona, or still he will be part of the team. Maybe if you look at Pep Guardiola, there are several instances Guardiola going to the season without a natural fullback. All the defenders about that fullback role. There are several instances all the defenders about the midfield role and other places are still YSL list. Last season, Liverpool season be a very good season for them because they went in for Lavia, but they went in for Moise Caicedo, but before Iron Slot ever, that season listo, Gravenberch and a ball as the number 6. And nobody had said that number 6 runner Gravenberch boy was an integral part of Liverpool for success last season. Since Unai ever joining Aston Villa listo, they've signed 20 players. Unai ever joining Aston Villa, Gerard Coy was signing 20 players listo. Last first game of ball last season, only 4 players, penny players players or no coach in Baba sign your mo, Unity Elements, Onana mo, any other players or maba. Even that players are almost 30 years or no Unai Emery Tomo Aston Villa listo. Players over Tomo, a move 7 currently starters. Despite the fact that Martinez didn't start a game because he's suspended, and yes, Martinez started here. And can move 7 players, players or no Unai Emery. Our better team. So to me, Maresca also has to. He's a very good coach, and I can't want him. He might lose 2 key players. I wouldn't want him. He might lose 2 key players. I wouldn't team anymore. A better Eze going to Tottenham Hotspur is going to be a starter. Now from the right side, if Obe started from the left side of attack, then Brennan Johnson will start from the right, where he mostly started last season. The moment could be is going to be a good fit for Thomas Frank. Then again, if they are still going to start Brennan Johnson, who was the top scorer for Tottenham team last season, from the right side, and in fact, maybe the spotlight was on Mohamed Kudus and Richarlison. These are the 2 players who scored 2 goals, and another player who assisted in that Richarlison goal notion. But Brennan Johnson added a goal to it. So if Eberechi is a now they will let him play the Damatenra Madison Ejatoa and a believe maybe Bergval, then maybe Papa Matasal, Papa Sal, ain't me, M1 no. These players can do it, and I think that these are top inclusions, and I thought they are making good inclusion, and I think that if you look at Crystal Palace at least our last 10 games they are unbeaten, and I can say in as much as Chelsea for about draw, the fans and even the players are not happy, no, tells you the current state that team that could do. We are world champion. So if you overdraw against Crystal Palace, your fans and even the players demeanor after the game shows that they were not happy. But at least this is a Crystal Palace at least the last 10 games, or you're unbeaten. And let me mention some of the teams where you're unbeaten: Bournemouth, Arsenal, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester City, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Liverpool, and then again Chelsea. Used to. Out of these 10 games are Omabo. The only team America say ABR on a heavyweight in the last season Premier League was Wolverhampton Wanderers. But Bournemouth last season was very crucial because Usha Dango Ouattara, Clivett, Ivan Nelson is Semenoma, and it's very difficult for you to score them. Then again, Omone Arsenal about 2-2 draw. They scored Aston Villa 3-0. Nottingham Forest Omone about 1-1. That was the DMS of the season. Almost share Tottenham Hotspur 2-0 or White Hart Lane. Almost share City. That is the EFO at the neutral ground or Wembley. They scored Wolverhampton Wanderers home 4-2. Played 1-1 with Liverpool, and also scored Liverpool again. That is on penalties. And Chelsea about draw. So Oliver Glasner Listo, he's a very good coach. But then Magoi situation Listo, I 2-2. Now Crystal Palace for them, what they have to do is say they can agree a pre-agreement with Liverpool for no. Now, Oya Magoi Listo, if you're going to Liverpool, you're not going to be a guarantee starter. For you, Oya replacement for Konate, who has Obia has the conversation for the contract renewal as Tole, and I clear that the boy will move to Real Madrid next season. Now, you're going to be a replacement for that player. Now you are not going to enter into the team because I'm signing Leone from Palma Amanaba, and then they Omode Gui Eba Bekaho. But Uye Gui playing for Crystal Palace, the captain and the leader. You are part of Thomas Tuchel Tima since Obai Alfred Fresa defenders. If you move call Liverpool not playing time, it means that what captain Ebekon who playing time at stake, and are you being part of the 3 Lions of England squad no at stake. So it is one thing. Ababaye Bibi also player also and say so it's not, it means that next season will be called free. And the Crystal Palace fans are ready to say if the boy will stay, not so be fair, they will also hesitate to sell him this summer. So that has been the talking point. If Obeyes or Betsna get a playing time, be part of England World Cup squad, no, then Obefruwa Ombe extend the contract on the gentleman agreement, maybe 10 to 25 million will be ideal for the player. And I said he will decide so Betsna wako free. That will also be another question. But then Oliver Glasner losing.
Of course, they are not the almost chairman will not agree. So no wako free.
Yeah.
So they will take any amount to be. Maybe they will say they made a mistake by not accepting the 60 million Newcastle by last season. But this time, obviously, what you more money on one more magic league, and if you are getting like 30-40 million for him from Liverpool, you are getting some good money out. Obe to me the other day, and they say some because some pay as a minu loaner cry. Ebe to me then I was say my go about the left side of a defense and I used to honum the sassy that's what honor only to me the night then I be sure I'll be to me a job, especially looking at the position now or kwakobono. So what I say and Chadanya will be so it is important so just can movie. But going to Liverpool no the quality I was show ne athleticism any experience or no. It is possible that wait my bench here Konate, especially player who shows say he is not ready to extend the contract. Now you offer player by a man 5 years contract, English international, and as it stands now, he is even looking better than you. Obviously, they will give him the opportunity. I'm not sure say Liverpool will go into the market thinking so they are just bringing somebody who is coming to do understudy. Maguire, Mono, they are not understudy players. They are coming into a team to give a competition and to start. Like Mama Mashvili. He is there to compete. And if Edison shows lapses now, maybe a job not show and not on any competition, they will replace him with so I think say the player moving to Liverpool, no, he will consider everything and looking at the Liverpool setup Nankasa, and they even have issues with their right back. More issue with right back situation. Maguire can equally do a job there, helping a friend from Pong. So maybe moving to Liverpool, no, obviously obe start obenye bi abo papa because if you watch Liverpool, you realize that they need somebody or athletic, somebody on who you ha. So obe in transitions, and it appears that the two defenders now are not giving that. And the young player, I'm sure, say if you look at the play, how are you comfortable on the ball? I've checked the way you born the ball near there. It's like Van Dijk replacement, long-term replacement for Van Dijk. So he will get a Carabao Cup, small caps, opportunity. But Maguire, I think that he's ready.
Yeah, Isto. Report about say Chelsea might be finally getting an agreement with Bayern Munich. And if you look at Christopher Nkunku, there are a lot of players that they want to release. And then Aston Villa for the Abase, they are not in the state to sign Nicholas Jackson. Now, if people remember Aston Villa in Newcastle game now, there was a chance against the Premier League. Last in the Premier League in Ankasa, no more from with the F word at the moment say they are being biased towards the big six class because they believe that the PSR Aston Villa cannot afford Nicholas Jackson because of PSR and sense. Newcastle to same too, and it's the reason why they've not been even able to extend Obita Alexander Isak, Nidiwa Makan or Paul Mitchell name. Amanda Steve Lemon says him. Aston Villa for now started a chance, insulting, using F word for the Premier League rules, then away fans Newcastle for us do the same thing. Today, anyone was say about outside they cannot afford Nicholas Jackson. Now, listen, if you look at Team B to say Chelsea, reports now Airbank say they want to have a net spend of 0, if not a profit. So many a profit in net spend. They want net spend of so many this season should be 0. The player sales, any the players coming in, they so check it. The number of teams or marathon players at Chelsea at over 200 million, and the number of sales so many so in 200 million, but omunyan catch it up, and they have a lot of players to let out. Sterling, Obiti say Renato Vega reporting she say they will sell him, and Omane Villarreal for no reach agreement 35 and 38 in Villarreal for no fees soon, but they could reach an agreement in maybe 30 or less than 30 million. A lot of players will leave the Chelsea setup. Now the only agreement and Emma Nkuku ne Bayern Munich didn't and say Nkuku to Bayern Munich, Bayern for show interest because they need a number 10, and now Nkuku is proven in the Premier League. Now they are saying is that they needed a player on loan, but Chelsea only agreed on a super permanent sale because they want to sell him. Now reporting just say currently in commercial training they are asking for a loan with an obligation to buy, and if that will happen, they will pay the loan, the salary, they will pay everything in full, and that is something that have been coming up. And they see Chelsea this summer they will sign Xavi Simons and Alejandro Garnacho. I clear, so they just want to sell some players before the income is limited. They don't want to make any mistakes. They will buy the player, then they will fail to sell some of the players, then also end balance some books, and that is signing money. But list to Severus beating the Madrid squad. And I was very happy. Say some of the players be me expected say Madrid players fans be not doing young farmers, especially those in Spain, any of Mama they know the kind of player they signed. Asha Franco Mastantuono, ne unveiling, no, didn't really get attention, especially in part of the world. But if you look at Europa and Spain in particular, they attention by Madrid squad to play the game. Several team that saw me. Defenders in clear say in preseason, latter part of the preseason, the match squad list, no, latter part of the season, no, and preseason he was playing Eder Militao and Edin Hoysen. And Oba especially into the FIFA Club World Cup or try a lot of things. You be explaining in our. There are games that he went in for 3 solid center backs, and there are games that he went in for 3 center backs, but other Aurelien Tchouameni was part of the center backs. I know Mukwa or stay, and the other games are or go in for a 4-4-4-3-3 system. But then Omoba Tchouameni ebe mfinfin. Can me per match squad no. But we AS Dario probable lineup almost just from training how Madrid would line up. And you say win a lineup on the but
that's probable
lineup I need Dario. Yes, this too. If you look at the squad list, the last time I catch you say Madrid for a year rebuilding and I'm out for Nyamba. You see, when Alonso buy, I'm signing Alvaro Carreras, and a clear say Mendy, one player. If offer by number 10, they will sell him. Frank Garcia, currently he's going to be a second fiddle to Carreras, but then on Shadanya a long-term plan and coach the plans. Din Horse and Eder Militao Listo. These are going to be the 2 center pair for Madrid, and I think that perfect. Bakuye and Militao nimbo Listo. Only my address before Militao. Ebabinyat ne hamstring ni Ace Wabekon. He was one of the best defenders in Europe and in the world. He's a Brazilian. He knows how to play. Osansu a hard tackler, or speed and or athletic, and he can pair very well with Dean Horsena. People believe that in the Spain national team, the 2 center backs are Mbebo, Brandt and Dean Hoysen and Paul Kubasi. So they have an elite defender and also a very young defender almost set happening. Now I clear that Obebo in a 4-back system, but then in some shapes, Tchouameni will stay close to that 2 center backs. Then any Carreras, any Brandt and Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ebeko Edima occupy some spaces in there. In midfield, Walusu Luka Modric when he came in, but in the FA Cup and in the FIFA Club World Cup, you say but other gule in more of a deeper role in games. Grana Oma Valverde occupied that right back position. Other gule was playing that deeper role position, and then he's going to be an integral part of Madrid team in this season. Listo, and I'm very happy for Abrante Eddie Franco Mastuntano, Vinicius. Mbappe mo clear say they are going to be an integral part of the team. In fact, if all of you remember Vinicius Bekwa, Kamado will be very happy. But now, if these players are staying there, in fact, you have elite players. Vinicius Junior, top 3 wingers, right-footed wingers are on board edition. Kylian Mbappe, exceptional. Minyahu any winger, growing up as a winger, or more prolific than Kylian Mbappe currently in this generation. Last season he was the golden boot, and if it's the Madrid team, Obe assures over more goals. And then Gonzalo Garcia in the FIFA Club World Cup, it shows that he's a player that the coach can trust. If Mbappe anywhere, and I said if Omo catch and say only the lines now, and now they have Brahim Diaz who can play as a winger. If they are in possession, he can also come into midfield. So Alonso Listo, Makana Sembebre. He's a tactical coach, a player who has played under Mourinho, Pep Guardiola, Carlo Ancelotti, and a lot of other top managers. He was also a Spanish guy. I mean, all these coaches are midfielders. Alonso doesn't need to prove to us. When he was a Bayern Leverkusen, when Liverpool needed somebody to replace Georgian Klopp, he was the first more approaching, but on declining is uncle. same as Madrid so buy Bayern so buy before some cover Vincent company, and then finally he waited for Real Madrid and they almost started rebuilding. No, I'm very happy, and people must see Franco Mastuntano. Maybe he's not going to start this game anymore, but at least Penny Bakwa, why an integral part of Madrid setup. No, he doesn't play. Unical at Mizoni Minipa. Only Madrid chief scout. And a lot of players are say various waiting not to saw me only Vinicius ni Casemiro picture be. He is the same manager who brought Casemiro to Real Madrid. Scout. He's the same scouter Okofa Rodrigo. Any Vinicius Junior didn't buy, and not even Obiti say Omo midfielder yeah or free Uruguay. Fedi Valverde. In Russia, this is unique Calafat or a chief scout. Listen, for you to be able to get these South American players to come to Europe, listen, it entails a lot. Never be brave, and for unique Calafat to be able to do that, for all these years, players on Domba, they tend to be great players, no. I think that people are more forging and shada enyambas. Listen, so I share unique Calafata. All the players are players that they tend to do very well, especially Madrid setup anymore. And recently, Chelsea for no started Bibisa, and they appointed former Corinthians scout Alison Marins, if I get the name right. And listen, so across South America, for you to get a player, a lot of clubs HSO because Franco Mastuntano, Man City, PSG. Man United, even Barcelona, and all the top clubs in Europe, no BHS brand signature from River Plate. But this player, a player, maybe apart from Estevao or a Brazilian, or my company to Messi, he's the only Argentine player. Maybe after Dybala, or Modena Compensa, he's the next Messi for Argentina against Chile in the FIFA Club World Cup qualifiers. Obabe Bobby. And he will be the youngest player to ever play for the Argentina national team. Will be breaking record under Messi. And the unique Alafata Franco Mosantana. And he's a player that open that modern creative wingers Nibia or your Nibi. He can dribble, he can create, and he can score. Or some super free kick share. If you look at Franco Mostantona, virus betting the some of the infield when be that to saw me. Or a winger listo, or like you say, or touch the lines and other flanks. Always be an oba or kati or yet or underlappy a lot to create space for any right back. If you have threat Alexander Arnold, then you will be integrating Franco Mostantona into the game, who is very swift, who can dribble. Then obey me the name of Rema Listo. A bit creative space the Trent and in the Arnold. I dear man or the Arnold say about defensive works are and cannot the Kayam money. But how quality he is when or attack here, a idea 1 year. Some of the pictures are very good in any give no. River Plate or Jiboa. He plays more like an amateur share or more line up. Or the moment near ball as a winger, but or drop it in and anywhere he will get the ball. Obey him the action. There's been a lot of comparison between him and the Chelsea boy Estevao Willian. Omobo, they are skillful, they can score, and they are very dangerous. So player Real Madrid I'm out for doing Yamban. So but you see, Ostatibo no Beshego. This is a winger, what dropping Ababenyabo or Keliashe. Another one Biso Hedus or Remo or Andalapi, he can score from anywhere and Osanso free kicks. There will be a lot of conversation, especially half the season. Say, Oba, that's the Franco Mosantano. I started hit it from the ground running. There will be a lot of comparison between him and will be to say, Lami Yama. The game of Obon on touch line. Oba Babe bang a lot of Kylian Mbappe. And if Oba, that's when your boni making assist a critic chances are. Kylian Mbappe run in behind every critic chance man, and he has to be brave. Machine videos, especially in the FIFA Club World Cup. For River Plate, he played all the games for River Plate, and Madrid fans will be now. Despite the fact that he didn't get a lot of goals or assists in that competition, but then so Jibo, how running the assist and the chance of creating money players. If you have a ball game, you have Brazilians there, you have Vinicius, and you have Kylian Mbappe who are going to play up front with her, I think say the boy will excel at Real Madrid. Now, Omodene Bayern, Omo register no as a Casilla player. And when Rodrigo and Vinicius Mobayina, they did that because Madrid team no, they want him to be part of the homegrown players. Internet Nako Casilla, Yaman number 30. The reason why number 30 is because Super Madrid Crampons in the La Liga senior team number B no bit my bro number 25. But he's having number 30 because Omo registered as the Casilla, and he's not his first match day one, he's part of Real Madrid squad. So he's not coming to be an academy player. He's coming to straight into the squad because this is a player list too. Even when playing for River Plate, when you're a call up to the Argentina national team, the current Argentina lineup and our call up coach, Leonard Scaloni, aye for the next international window. No, he's part of the Argentina national team.
Okay.
So he won't come to Madrid despite knowing the fact say Onya Bimbo. And there's a reason why Chelsea for ball are spending on Alisson Maris. Listen, apart from Alisson Maris, who is the chief scout for Chelsea, especially in the South American scene. He's the same manager or scouting for Sir David Wellington be striker be. They also bought Anselmino defender. He's the same manager or scouting for Sir Boy. Estavo Willian. Barca Real Madrid went into the void. But if you read Estavo Willian, the message to the parents or players tribunal, I bet you say the project Chelsea for project man no. There was nowhere now Chelsea they know. So to be able to get these South American players or more that promising talent in list also to me convincing them money in the bush of say boy way back we are going to give him playing time, and yes sir, always they have a path for these players. Okay. Obeko Benfica no of course sporting me, but for these boys to come straight to these European teams no, it means that you have to have a very good scouter or building this network and relationship, especially that South American scene.
Okay.
And this boy one of the promising talent over, and they probable lineup likely somebody beating against Osasuna. List it is something that we are going to see more often. Yami Adma this season. Maybe Sir Brahim Diaz and a player that I who is Bellingham Bar. They will let other Goulart play that role. They also sometimes are drifting in, and even some games you go her. They also have ways and means to play. I think that Madrid team, this lineup can score Osasuna, but I mean they should be aware of Osasuna team. Omo team bia. I mean they've been in the La Liga so much time, and they can hurt you. Madrid team new team. I think never be jelly. And today's game will let us see if Alonso will get the setup in the system very quick. Send a bit in that compete because Hansi Flick by the first season of the G League. So we want to see how beat him there about any game. Then the bit him so reflected how much in because remember that to me I have high hopes in Alonso. He knows Madrid and Madrid knows him and he can get the job done. But Franco Mastantano or Bemu and Listo, the little minutes he will get will announce in presence in European football.
All right.
Yes. Yeah, share Madrid game Nikaka, and I think say we share this game a very crucial game for Xabi Alonso because the first La Liga game being the head coach for Real Madrid. Now Osasuna a team bia about the La Liga teams almost hard, especially in La Liga almost can be. And in their last 5 meetings with Real Madrid, mostly Real Madrid go home and they have the upper hand over them. In TNA, Real Madrid will get an easy win over a team like Osasuna. In their last 2 meetings, Real Madrid home. Real Madrid a team ni hu ashen 4-0 but history on these two sides in their last 20 meetings Real Madrid they win 14 and no about draw 6, meaning say it's like a day say Osasuna bet me a win against Real Madrid on the hot streaker. These two clubs Equita coming into this game. Real Madrid last 16 La Liga games opening games, and on the first game of the fixture to me lose will be that is the 16 we win 11 and we about draw that is 5 home. Osasuna on the other hand on also the last 13 games of boy a 10 utimi ball under 2.5 home in TNS so pre-season games on Modeba and they going into a game against Real Madrid, their first game of the ball of the season. As you say, Osasuna come into this game defensively solid because on my last 13 on my bono under 2.5 you likely say beat me about, but so a team with Timmy Osasuna a team share more than 2 goals a team a friend of Real Madrid. But on the night I'm seeing Alonso bet try 1 or 2 things because Solskjaer coming from the FIFA Club World Cup na nyama nkoye with formation switching in nyama bebre and also pre-season games on my boy Utiminya 1 or 2 great he who said now he will go with the 4-3-3 but there are a lot of variations into the game. I think this game we should expect goals, but we shouldn't expect the 4 goals and who said Real Madrid defeated Osasuna in their last 2 games. Real Madrid will surely win the game because they are coming in with a big motivation in himself, and Barcelona winning the game. Barcelona winning, meaning they need to also win to be able to match up. Last season there were ups and downs when it comes to the top table. No, Real Madrid could lead in Atletico na Barcelona ba far. And if they are to win games against Osasuna, especially at Santiago Bernabeu, the first game for Xabi Alonso, very crucial. Emma Real Madrid and Xabi Alonso. I think this game, Real Madrid to win. Bookings are because Osasuna a team bia ebano aggressive tackles or more tackle and the players to watch. You ever heard Vinicius Junior being that key player for Real Madrid? Last season he was expecting to do more to be able to challenge the Ballon d'Or this time, but we're into me, so he needs to revive himself. Then going into the La Liga and a good performance. Budimir, Osasuna, that key striker, the oldest striker in the La Liga, and they ban goal scoring every time Omachia put the top 5 and he'll be one key player for Osasuna. But better going into the game, Osasuna a team there, they mostly get to register their first goal. Their opening game beyond Bebonti and Mananya and one say maybe Osasuna beat me the early goal, the Real Madrid beat me back to win the game. But I'm tipping a Real Madrid win and also an under 3.5 in this game. Say Bibia beat me a
all right. Transfer a year way. It is clear Man United now they need a striker, they need attackers. They've gotten them, and after their game against Arsenal, it is clear said they need a particular profile in their midfield. Almost a try some Brantia by Quaifena a year Baleba, and United was ready to go all out for a year Baleba. Now so Bobo Kwa ye friend a Brighton and Hove Albion. Just say Oma and share in any cry. Almost just say they didn't Oma ma United any chance, any opportunity be answer. Omo be to me day. Ebia a negotiate say Abrantia no. Emisi akan enfama Man United. Inti akwa Kobani say Man United have to look elsewhere. Now Man United this season they've tried say they will do all their transfers, getting players from the league. And if you know the tradition of Man United, from they hardly sign players outside England. It's either from the academy or players are Oma SL Ewebia Oma Kofa Leeds United striker paying Cantona, even Van der Sar. Van der Sar was a Fulham player. Omukofa Carrick. Carrick was also I think Tottenham or Fulham Mubako. Lower way. The same thing Rio Ferdinand. So Omukwa Bontia na enye too much. So if you check Man United, almost success omonya ni bibre na mostly wo behwe no. Na players are almost signing from the lower teams, you know. Teams in Ketu Kofa Tavez no wo Bubuko friend West Ham. No ma kofa ne de naba. A lot of players na omu nyina ewo league ni mu dada. Anase omo academy ni na omo promote players. 1-1 bi and omo outside there form ba Patrice Evra ne Vedech money ade. But say cat team na be a Patrice Evra be join here. Vedech ever join here na. A combination of academy boys plus players no more league ni mu dada. And omo ye den omo form ba no omo de omo ba bia mostly no na omo ye success. Bia in recent times na abeka say omo kofa Abrante aye friend no Mason Mount. Then no Mason Mount no injuries obo ni football no obo a lot of minutes from the time we call Vitesse I am there about Derby County by Chelsea no. He played every match. He was basically playing every match for Chelsea. It United better no. Now Kwako is a lot of work akon na anymore. Young players no. That is what happened. a be to a branch friend Pedri. Now he has overcome it, and obviously Mason Mount will overcome it, and Man United will be able to assess him properly. Say, is he that good? Until time in the better say Mason Mount signings a good and as a good. With the SCN because of injuries, and injury no to mean for injury and condemn a player. A branch a friend or a look sure from Southampton at that time, not Chelsea so penal or joining Man United. Obianim says, or a fitter, he's one of the best left back in the league. But injuries need derail since or joining Man United. But the quality is there, the attitude in the sank, and the attitude in your writer, Kabana, Man United, and Quanda the other. So Man United want to go back to ASR tradition. They want to go back and make sure, say you academy boy back, say on your day, in him say, this is a boy. Or what the quality was true to the extent say you bet to me I rely on. So and yes I was say signing players from the league. And now on my two share there are some point now omonenam Jackson. No money nam Jackson, but for whatever reason they decided not to go for him. And Osha Ebiobi to say Alexander Isaka. Yes a player no I na adwen clear say obeko Liverpool and sekabeye clear say bi anka brantia no pese o movie at the start of the season anka bi anka United den omo nyama yi etoto nyama yi a commit makokov because if you want to sign Baleba omo nim say wa omo anfa omo anase omo antokra na say omo anfa scan kokra na 90 million bi omo de be den beko and 90 million say if say at the start of the season, omoya aware say Alexander Isak available and possible say anka the omo dey offer SSC. Mean cause SSC is bad and SSC will not be a success at United. But looking at the trend now omo kono likely say anka aska na omo dey offer Alexander Isak and komo di bibia kan akwa offer brand ye fe no omo for SSC no omo di bibia kan akwa offer Alexander Isak e dey na ba be gina ni mu hono because he's a quality player wait my bomo team ya now omko Baleba hono amfa class Brighton for ni yon wadwin so mere on beton. Now there is a report say abrantie bie unity ewo bubu ko friend Sevilla ti o de beto so amame yes usina kan edema Sevilla e friend no Gome nti o de ne beto so ede ha nti ono na wo no yes your friend Lucien Agume 23-year-old player or central midfielder and a DM or 6'1" or 6'1" unlike Baleba no I think 5'10" or 5'10" no mame and check Baleba the na me hwe the height no Baleba 5'10", yes. Unlike Baleba or 5'10", we 6'1". 6'1" it is our height pan. To be to me the highlights now there go so. Their game against Bilbao or Bobby and normally see 3-2 away. And the performance in the track going to be to me there. Ube to me Ashe no na bibia to me akoye. Or a player na osina academy social under 19 social under 19 to social academy mu na Inter Milan kofa no na Inter Milan kofa no Okolon was Spezia and returning to Inter Milan and Inter Milan sad man Cologne start Brest Okolon ho no returning no musa man Cologne wo Troyes ana Troyes and returning no Cologne was Sevilla and Sevilla michenie pa our height on high on no our height papa ojina ho utimu say yes our height and our legs so on the nine over Abu Dhabi mo type of players no mu jamfimfin o nine ye den ewo pa enti oba Sevilla no na Sevilla for ekoma bubuku e friend Inter Milan 4 million pounds that was last season pe obo one season and obo ma Sevilla for a car league nim. And Sevilla they didn't have stability. Coach we banner, coach we coach we banner, coach we call. Who be the bear 3-4 coaches cry. So 5 coaches cry last in Sevilla. what you say. It is omunya stability. It's a time I owe Inter Milan in here. He's a good player, solid defensive midfielder. Mate Makacho say, born in Nimbopa. And I'll join a Sevilla. Or join Sevilla 1 season or Alabama Sevilla. And we alone. Obo we no turning into a year permanent transfer. Now Wababa ye Anase he's been linked to Manchester United. In terms of area duels, easy tackling, game reading, work rate, ball retention, tempo, control, ball carrying technique, and passing range. He's got everything. He's a player now. Also, when you have 20 or no, any baleba any. Obibeka say, oh, Premier League no dear, a more thing. Premier League no dear. But you see, you were look, key indicators be or football man. You cannot beat it. Pacho fato sumame. To be here there, MBT in terms of key passes, or you better than Baleba. Baleba the end red no. In terms of forward passing, almost two no, almost forward passing was so, but Abrante FN Agumi at the end was so. Maybe you say be a Spanish La Liga no space here then. It won't any idea, but it shows say on you good at passing anka element in where they be show at the actual honum. And forward passes no sha wo anytime bi obinya bia na accuracy no dodo no de agume ne epep forward pass it ni highlight na me that all the toes no you realize that the pass bi obinya bia obo no vertical it in terms of forward passes there onya bo bi o make sure say e forward o hwe Abrante Baleba de no red na on pay forward passes be brave but anytime ya obebo forward pass ne percentage ni den e wo soro. That is the meaning of the two. Tibakuni a percentage forward passing. Number a forward passing. Normal passing now because we wait mama forward passing. Maybe an old man farmer player. Unya percentage also. Into that is the difference. Ball carrying. And this is a key indicator. Man United midfielder no. And answer Amorin then. When the team no. Say somebody obetima carry ball no. Because three back, you need somebody who can carry the ball. Into Bekaya, under Thomas Tuchel, any Papa Yefreno, Antonio Tutu Conte. Time now no watch Chelsea no. Na player Yefreno, a young Golo Kante. No, you crucial at the man Antonio Conte or Chelsea. It's not on pair with a Matic, Nimanja Matic. Say Omo Bana say Emuya Dina te Omo Pegua, not Fabregas. It's a how on earth say open midfielder obe control game ama obe pass ne ade u team mu a Fabregas wo hono ma obe bon goal Kante ni Matic but Matic be more say defensive cover no ono be tena defenders nanim e de ama then you because of N'Golo Kante o carry ball nti ni ball carrier nti no or fit into a three back system now both Thomas Tuchel and Antonio Conte ebe ball with Chelsea no. That is the point. Me try say me dey me make you was it. Iti o hwe Antonio Conte sesia wo Napoli a. The carry ball edema Cameroon no. Anguissa he carries the ball. Inti obo two strikers. What I say, enti obo Abrante Ayefre no obo mfimfin wonom no obo la Bosca obo la Bosca na wabo Abrante Ayefre no Anguissa na fe wabo we as second striker Man United player no join him McTominay brings goal threat. No ball no as a second word striker. But in 51 no say two pivot no ba ko e ball carrier. Enti wo hwe Man United ani abre bebre no. Yes, ebi maka Watson Watson can do the job na Matic no. But Man United team needs to see no. They are not looking for somebody obey Matic adwuma no. Because they believe say Ugarte can do the job. They believe say Casemiro can also what do that job sitting in front of the defenders. Omo believe say two players bet my yes adwuma. And indeed omo bet my yes adwuma. Now they need somebody who can what, who has the legs, who can transit the ball. And transition is not about passing, it's about carrying the ball from half to opposition half. That is why they are looking for a Baleba. So what's in bad there? I just say Casemiro ni Ugarte ni also mun free team ni. What's in the no ba be gina defenders na or passing range near there, but no movie or no to be carry ball. Watson cannot carry the ball from the half and van opposition half, but he can sit in front of a defenders. It is an open Watson, no problem. It doesn't mean say no never be replace it, and I say no alternative to Abrantia Yefreno a Baleba. Abrantia Yefreno a Lucien Agumi no no. She won't pass a woman. You will not get Watson doing that job there. What unya was your best Jumano, but you get Agumi. Oh, no attack on here. On Wakwajibono. So no pass now one. Aha. So we're born in tentem, we're transiting in tentem. Aha. And on your opportunity on for born so your day and running on what come we are to one. Or the born bed ever running from the midfield no at the attack no. Into one player he's been linked to me patch of away to so many comparison on it Baleba. This guy is direct replacement for Baleba. Pachoya Nikese mami. Direct replacement. And Osha we now the only thing Menoka say Abrantia Yefen Baleba Eddie beating a ball carrying, but Osha the distance now. Anyway, now Spanish La Liga no. Oh wow, you are not expected to carry the ball. Spanish La Liga no Liga, they are concerned with say almost passing, a lot of passes. That is why a lot of forward passes. More than any ball carrying, because a Liga carry ball too much. They don't like it. So all the ball done. No, Spanish La Liga Liga transition league. Enye league a transition league. Now no ya coaches papa ya friend no. Hansi Flick ba the transition aba be se ba sabo nim. Ena Real Madrid so omo ya no one ball counter near there. Real Madrid tete nyina they don't play a Spanish style no. But o share to say bia Celta Vigo, Barca tiki taka time no Girona. Omo nyina make sure say omo pass ball na enti Sevilla team no enye say Abrante Efen Agumi no he cannot carry the ball. He's a very good carrier of the ball, but league na all ball no expect say you need to release the ball to the nearest person. Into the proximity of how omo team is set up on it say you need to release the ball as quick as possible. That is why you see him giving one-touch passes any other day, but he can carry the ball. Then he got another one. The person me who na fe me to me here because me nim ade omacho possession one omutu ni nyina e the same way. So if you are looking for a midfielder I bet me a winning possessioner, right? Abrante Yefen Agumi ne Abrante Yefen Baleba e the same skill, even cry or beating kakra bi. Then Osha duels percentage crucial. Duels percentage say kwa them o tackle no ya bobo na winning grand duels o tackle na amount of duels will be winning and he crucial a Premier League. If you want to win Premier League game you need to win a lot of grand duels. Say for the area no crowd omo jai first na area duels our Premier League say ababa fam ho ye the ball bet nam fam ababa shawo You need to win a lot of ground wars. So if you are getting a player who wins a lot of ground wars, or the distance between Baleba and Agumedian, Agumedian advantage in Osa one is our long legs. And midfielders no more long legs. No? They win a lot of duels. They do that with ease. They do that with ease. Now share progressive passes. Progressive passes, and then say you will not carry the ball. But ube jina ono wa den wa pass ball no ube pass ball na ma ball na e de aya wonwade ball no de awonwaso de abenti ni video no hu say o pass be true pass be de den e de fa ho no ma e ko striker wa. That is the quality. The distance between ni baby and ni way ni wo no na hwe baleba de then key passes crucial. O je midfielder o win duels. Midfielder o winning duels pa no some key passes. This is a player. He's a complete midfielder. Na nyame won wa say Inter Milan assign no at sa young age na no wo boboko a your friend so show no. Even upon ni loans awako about 4-5 loans na awako ni nyina no. Ni age ni still was saying 23 years. It is if Man United is going in for this particular midfielder, I think say he will do a decent job for them. I don't know say be more a minute be wo a branty we and I say if money be about him na yenko tips no.
Yeah. Okay, internet with Real Madrid game ebe koso no me share bet builder MYBET.AFRICA e dey boy am so yetimi selections. Into with bet builder option no me call for Real Madrid OSASUNA, Real Madrid straight win under 3.5 in full game and bookings of over 3.5. 4 odds and a into code no G4 JY G4 JY MYBET.AFRICA.
Okay.
Yes, my selections for the day. No, me started with Madrid at the end. Bet builder options. Madrid to win over 2.5 goals in that game. First half over 0.5 goals, and home to score in both halves. Yes, and no, so much in quite 2 odds. National Bank of Egypt and Carabra Ismaila double chance for National Bank of Egypt. Farco and Italia El Gaish over 0.5 goals in that game. And then they Oko Omana, Al Sahib, and Al Kabura Ebebo, Al Sib straight win. Odd no 3.23 odds. Code near K4 JY. K4 JY.
All right. Okay. Me so me dey Real Madrid straight win. Grevna Zevda Bohum. Home win or draw. Ena Fluminense ene America di Cali. Omo bo Copa Libertadores. Fluminense home win either half. Ena Bubuku Efeno Racing Club Avellaneda Obohumone CA Panarol Montevideo enable. And also one up at the Man Racing Club Avellaneda. Ena Sao Paulo FC ene Atletico Nacional Medellin enable. Sao Paulo home win or draw. Celtic ene FC Kerat Amati. Celtic to score 2. And a Fenerbahce ene Benfica over 1.5. Then Estudiantes de La Plata ene Cerro Porteño enable a home win or draw. We so ya me options. Nyame adom na adom dum ya otena. Ye beba na afei de akachire ni nyina ye de abramo ya kramo.